In the first book of Psalms, the leading thought corresponds with that of the book of the Pentateuch. Accounts of God are shown from the beginning to the end in relation to man. As Genesis begins with the divine blessing of man, so Psalm 1 opens up with, blesses the man. All blessedness for man is shown to consist in subject to and occupation with God's law. It is the tree of life to him. And meditating on this, he becomes like a well-watered tree in paradise of God. But in Genesis 3, man rebels against the law, and Psalm 2 describes the consequences of that rebellion, while Psalm 3 takes its title from one who rebelled against God's king. A ruin be repaired only by the man, Christ Jesus, the seed of the woman, Genesis 3:15. And in the Psalms of this first book, the third section, we see him in his atoning work, which alone sets man again in the blessedness which he had lost. The first book consists of 41 psalms. The central psalm is 21, which sets forth the eternal and blessedness of God's kingdom. All that have titles, 37, are David, the man of God's choice. Of the divine title, Yahweh occurs 279 times, and Elohim only 48 times, of 9 of which are joint with Yahweh. Notes also refer to events, etc. of Genesis in the first book. Psalm 1 and 2 are linked together by having no title, and by Psalm 1 opening and Psalm 2 closing with blessedness. The first, or Genesis books, is divided into 3 sections, which are stated thus. The first Psalm, chapter 1 through chapter 8, concerning man. Section 2, Psalm 9 verses through Psalm 9 through 15, concerning the man of the earth, the Antichrist. 3, the third section, Psalm 16 through 41, chapters that is, concerning the man Christ Jesus, the Messiah. Psalm 9 and 10 are linked together by having an irregular alphabet running acrostically through the two. Alphabets is broken and irregular, like the time of trouble, the great tribulation, of which they speak. Psalm 16 in the first so we got this acrostic running in this particular song. So there are 9 examples of acrostics in the book of Psalms, while 11 other acrostic scriptures are found in the Old Testament. Psalm 9 and 10 are linked together by an acrostic. which, like the times of trouble, the great tribulation, of which the two Psalms treat, it purposely broken and is irregular and out of joint. The acrostic tells us that the subject of the two Psalms is one, and that they are to be connected together. There on the many expressions common to both. Psalm 25 here, again, the acrostic is designedly incomplete, a proof of its genuineness instead of its corruption. No writer would or could omit a letter from carelessness. The psalm has the same phenomena as Psalm 34, where the same letter V is omitted, and the letter P is duplicated in the word. A dot redeemed, the last verse, is thus in each case made to stand out predominantly by itself. Psalm 34, Psalm 37, in this psalm, the series is perfect and complete. Every letter has two verses of 2 lines each, except 3, D and K and Kof. Psalm 111, in this psalm, the series is complete. The psalm has 22 lines, each line commencing with the successive letters of the alphabet. Psalm 112 is formed on the model of Psalm 101. The two psalms forming a pair, Psalm 111 being occupied with Yahweh, and Psalm 112 with the man that revereth Yahweh. Psalm 119, this psalm consists of 22 groups consisting of 8 verses each. The 8 verses in each group begins with the same letter. For example, the first 8 verses begin with a A, the 8 verses of the second group with a B, and so through the whole Psalm 176 verses 8 times 22. It is impossible to reproduce this or any other or any of the others alphabetically acrostic, seeing that the Hebrew and English alphabet do not correspond either in equivalent order or number of the letters. It so happens that in the group beginning with T, verses 65 through 72, each verse in the AV does begin with a T, except verses 67 and 71. These can be readily conformed by changing before to till in verses 67, and it is to tis in verse 71. There are 5 in the book of Esther, each giving the divine name in the 4th acrostic. One other divine name in Psalm 96:11. One perfect acrostic in Proverbs 31, verses 10 through 31. And in the book of Lamentations, each of the first four characters is characterized by an acrostic, with the further particularities that the first three verses of each psalm consist of two portions, the last two or three portions. The first two letters being the same in both alphabets can be thus presented. The happiness of the perfect, the happiness of the perfect in the way such as walk by the law of Yahweh. The happiness of the keeper of his testimony, who seeks him with their whole heart. Assuredly, they have not worked iniquity. In his way they have ever walked. As to thy commandments thou hast commanded us that we should diligently keep them. The Lord, that my ways were prepared to keep thy statutes. Ashamed them, and should I never be, while I have respected unto all thy commandments. All my heart shall praise thee in uprightness, while I learn the judgment of thy righteousness. All thy statutes also I will keep. Leave me not utterly. By what means shall a young man cleanse his way? By taking heed thereunto according to thy word. By every means, by every means my heart has sought thee. Let me not err from thy commands. Besides, I have laid up thy word in thy heart, that I may not sin against thee. Blessed art thou, O Yahweh, teach me thy statutes. By my lips have I recounted all the judgments of thy mouth, by walking in thy mandate way. I found joy beyond all wealth. By the precepts shall I guide my musings, and shall pore over thy path. By thy statutes shall I be delighted. Thy word I shall not forget. Psalm 145. In this psalm, the acrostic is perfect, with the exception of the letter N, which should come between verses 13 and 14. Through the infirmity of some transcribers, the verse was probably omitted by him. It must have been in the more ancient manuscripts, because it is preserved in the ancient version. The Lord is faithful in all his words, and holy in all his works. Moreover, the structured psalm shows that it originally had its proper place in the Psalms. For the other acrostics in the Psalms,